Caustic, Mr. Toxic himself. Why is he remotely the character that you want to be playing to get to Apex Predator? Well, I'm going to show you exactly why and exactly why he is one of my favorite characters. The reason that he is possibly one of the best this season, if not the best, to be playing. Now, as you know, his gas is annoying. Nobody likes him. He's one of the least played characters in the game. But he is my third most played character. So I have a good bit of experience in playing him, and I understand the majority of his mechanics, and you know, which isn't that much, but you know, he's a good character in my opinion. Now, the reason why everybody hates him is because his gas just kind of annoys your team. He slows you down. He makes it hard to see. You know, it's really annoying, and I can completely understand that. But one of the biggest problems in the game, which is third parties, Caustic is one of the only counters to a third party. When someone is coming in to third party you know, Watson works, but Watson is also, her fences are extremely easy to shoot. You have to be paying a lot more attention with her. Whenever someone tries to push a Caustic, they're slowed in the gas and they cannot see when pushing in. So when you're pushing a Caustic, you're completely unaware of what you're walking into. With a Watson, you can still see what's happening. Caustic is also a counter to Watson. It's very easy for him to overtake her because all he has to do is gas the doorway, and for one thing, his gas destroys her fences. So all he has to do is gas the doorway, blow the fences up, and then they can't see you specifically pushing in because you can see through the gas anyway. And it's very easy to overtake a Watson team with Caustic. Caustic's also one of the very few people that I have managed to quite easily take on 1v3s, even in Predator lobbies. It's very easy for him to control his environment and take out all of these people because they can barely aim when they're slowed in his gas. It's very hard for them to do anything. One of the biggest things you have to take into account though whenever you're playing Caustic is your team. It's very hard to find a team that, for one, is not going to get aggravated with you playing Caustic, but is even remotely used to having a Caustic on the team because nobody plays Caustic, and it's very important for your team to be good at dealing with being in his gas whenever you're getting pushed. Me personally, I have played Caustic for quite a while, and my teammates are pretty good with dealing with the gas, although they still get aggravated sometimes, but they are used to dealing with his gas. The way you should be playing Caustic, you know, rotation wise, circle wise, the way you need to be playing him is, in my opinion, the way I do it, the way I got to Predator. We practically just went for an early game squad wipe, and you know, if we didn't get that, okay, we'll just get it later. But most of the time we would get an early game squad wipe. We would land, you know, in an area where we can rotate to where another team landed and then take them out. But other than that, most of the time when you're playing Caustic, you have to maintain rotation as much as possible. You have to predict where the next circle is going to be, and you need to get in the nearest building and hold it down as quickly as possible. Because Caustic gas traps take a little bit of time to regenerate, so when you're in a house, you want to set down as much as you can and regenerate all of that so that you're prepared to set them down later when those gas traps are destroyed. So you want to be in a building as quickly as possible. When it comes to the best team layout to use with Caustic, honestly, you can almost use anyone you want, but some people think that using Watson with Caustic is really good. Personally, I don't think having two defense like that is good at all. It's not a good idea. For one thing, Watson's ult counters Caustic's ult, and you know, it's just not a good combo. Personally, the way that I have my team laid out with Caustic is I have a Gibraltar, because Gibraltar is extremely OP right now, as everyone knows by now. And then you, on top of having those two defensive type characters, you also have to have a rotation style character. So you have to either have a Wraith or a Pathfinder. We usually have a Pathfinder because we can get far rotations quickly, but a Wraith works just as well because you can get, it may be shorter rotations, but it's safer rotations. Another thing you may have noticed is that Caustic completely controls in circle. He cannot be contested almost because everyone pushing into it is slow. They can't see, they can't aim, they can't think. It's hard to do anything when you're in his gas. The only way you can really stop Caustic from winning in game is either completely focusing and taking him out off the bat, which might not even do the trick because his gas is still going to linger after he's down, or you just have to do the Wraith trick and keep going back and forth through the portal and staying alive longer than he does. But more than likely that won't work either. So if you pretty much, Caustic is unbeatable in circle, and that is another reason why he is an extremely viable character for this season, because everyone is sweating extremely hard, so it's actually making it to that in circle the majority of the games that you will play. Other than that, that's pretty much all I had to say about Caustic. I personally think he is one of the best characters in the game. He's one of the strongest, and he could be the reason you get the Predator this season, because it's quite a bit of a struggle right now, considering only 500 people get to make it. But at the same time, you just gotta work for it. If you really want it, you get it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Caustic's the best. Learn to use them, learn to love them, and stay toxic.
What they doing, keep on doing that.